Shalom. I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh by Shemiel Shai, by Hashem Akakodash, double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone of GMS, and salutations and blessings to the elect. Shalom. This is breaking news, all right? I opened up the Google app, all right, and this is the first thing that popped up, all right? Speaking about the Real ID, all right? And since I live out here in New Jersey, all right, this is going to happen real soon, all right? Not just in New Jersey, but all through all 50 states, all right? Because about 2 years ago, I remember the government speaking about the Real ID, all right, which Americans are forced to comply to accept this Real ID, all right? So you cannot say, I don't agree with it, because guess what? If you don't agree with it, you won't be able to drive, you won't be able to enter any federal building, you won't be able to travel, and things of that sort, all right? You won't be able to go into your job. Soon they might say you can't buy food without it, man, all right? And this is leading up to this RFID chip, all right? And all states are supposed to comply by 2020, all right? So this is happening quick, man, all right? Now I'm going to click on it. It says Real ID to begin in New Jersey. What to know? Here's what to know about the Real ID in New Jersey, including when it may start. The state has about a month to comply with federal law, all right? So this is quick, all right? It says New Jersey is gearing up for the Real ID now that the deadline for compliance is a month away. New Jersey has asked for another extension for Real ID enforcement that would allow federal agencies to accept driver license and identification cards for New Jersey at federal facilities, nuclear power plants, and federal regulated commercial aircraft until October 2019. The current deadline is October 10, 2018. Motor Vehicles Commission Chief Administrator Sue Fulton said New Jersey expects to begin the phase into Real ID during the first quarter of next year, though she didn't provide specifics. The hard deadline is October 1st, 2020, meaning that the U.S. Department of Homeland Security is not expected to grant extensions after that. New Jersey is on track to complete our Real ID program, she said. As agreed with the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, we have submitted our project plan and our request for an extension to October 2019. If New Jersey isn't granted an extension, then current state driver license would not be valid form of identification at any federal facility, including military bases or for going through security at airports. We are planning system upgrades that will improve service to New Jersey drivers in advance of the Real ID implementation and thus have requested the additional extension, Fulton said. The phase-in could likely be similar to what's going on in Pennsylvania, where residents can bring their Real ID documentations into any Penn.dot driver license center for pre-verification. There, once Real ID debuts in March 2019, customers have been pre-verified, can apply for their new ID online, and will not have to return to the dreaded driver license center, you see? And that's all ways of the so-called white man, because we know, I'm pretty sure a lot of us know when you go to the DMV, all right, you got to wait in this long-ass line, all right? Just like you go to Walmart, you got to wait a long-ass line, all right? And you see, like, nearly 100 people, man, in one line, and you only see two registers max open, all right? And when you look at the other registers, it's empty, all right? There's nobody on it, okay? Now, instead of having to go to the DMV, all you gotta do is just fill it out online, man. All right, and you'll just get it that quicker. All right. But continuing, New Jersey has had a few extensions, largely because it has been making system technology improvements to meet requirements of the Real ID Act. Those steps have included allowing more than 9 characters of a name to be included on a license and requiring people to have their photos taken immediately upon reaching the counter for a new license. The 2005 Real ID Act imposes stronger requirements for proof of legal U.S. residency in order for state driver license to be valid for federal purpose. The law was passed in response to national security concerns after 9/11 terrorist attacks, according to the reports. States originally were supposed to comply with the Real ID requirements by the end of 2009, but federal authorities have repeatedly delayed implementations to give time for states to change their driver license procedures and make their necessary technology modifications. Okay, now with this Real ID, all right, like I said before, you won't be able to enter any federal building, you won't be able to drive, you won't be able to leave the country, all right? And it's gonna show that if you're if you're a U.S. citizen, all right, So this is gonna be a tracking tracking the people, man. All right. All right. And you can't say I don't want this real ID. Well, guess what, man? If you don't get it, guess what? You can't drive. You won't be able to you know, how you gonna get to your job if you can't drive? All right. Or you gonna keep taking the bus? All right. What happens if you know if you don't got it like that? Okay. Because a lot of Jake out here don't even have cars, man. They take public transportation. All right. All right. And well, soon they're gonna say, well, I won't be surprised if they say you can't work without without your real ID. All right. You won't. You know, you can't buy groceries without your real ID. All right. Won't be surprised if ESO says something like that, man. Okay. All right, and this is gonna keep track if you're also a U.S. citizen. All right, if you're a legal U.S. Citizen. All right. All right. So the process has already begun. All right, and this is forced. All right, on all Americans. All right, by the U.S. government. All right. They said that U.S. citizens are forced to comply with this new law. All right, so you can't say no. All right, because if you say no, guess what? You won't be able to drive then. All right, how you gonna get to work? All right, you won't be able to drive. You can't leave the country. All right, without showing your real ID. You won't be able to go into any federal building. You won't be able to get to your job and things of that sort, man. Okay, and this is what all leading to the RFID chip, man. Okay, which the book of Revelations, I'm gonna bring it out. Revelation 13 verse 10. Revelation 13 verse 16. And he calls of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, say he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here's wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man. Who's that man? So-called white man, Esau. And his number is 666. And the beast is NATO in the EU. Okay? This is the so-called white man wants to push out, man. All right? Because this is this sooner or later, so-called white man's gonna give some bullshit excuse saying, oh, the real ID isn't working. We're gonna have to bring out this RFID chip. All right. And with that, with the RFID chip, you won't be able to drive. You won't be able to go to your job. You won't be able to buy food. All right. You won't be able to leave the state, the country. You won't be able to do anything. So this is just a prelude, man. They're programming the people already, man. All right. And they said practically all states are supposed to comply by 2020. All right. Which like I read before, the deadline was supposed to be all the way back in 2009, but the government gave extensions out to all 50 states, so that way the DMVs could change their procedures, man. All right, but that time is up, man. All right, and since I live out here in New Jersey, they only have a month to comply with federal law. All right, and they said they're already moving quick with it, man. All right, so this is gonna change a lot of things now, man. All right, this new real ID, all right. But with that, you know, I hope this video was edifying. You know, we're real close, man. We're real close to the end. You know, the end is near, man. All right. Esau is about to go out, man. He knows that he has a little bit of time to rule. All right. But with that, I'd like to give all praises and glory to Yahweh Shemiel Shai, Bahashim Kakudash, double honors to the apostles of GMS of Great Most and rule well, and salutations and blessings to the elect. Until next time, Shalom.